In ancient Athens, the city provided alms in the way of a few cents given to those who were disabled, elderly, or owned property less than a certain worth. The Greeks also stockpiled olive oil for times of economic hardship. The city of Clazomenai on the Ionian coast is considered an economic pioneer in this regard. In Aristotle's Economies, he recounts, "The people of Clazomenai, suffering from dearth of grain and scarcity of funds, passed a resolution that any private citizens who had stores of oil should lend it to the state at interest, this being a produce which their land bears in abundance. The loan arranged, they hired vessels and sent them to the depots whence they obtained their grain, and bought a consignment on the security of the value of the oil." In ancient Rome, the Roman government used corn as a way to take care of its citizens. In the year 123 BC, Gaius Sempronius Gracchus introduced the first Lex Frumentaria. This law established supplying the poor citizens of Rome with corn each month and at a certain amount below the normal market price. After the fall of Rome in the West, and as feudalism gave way to growing towns and cities with specialized craftsmen, there arose organizations that sought to protect the economic security of its members. In Europe, the earliest of these organizations were guilds formed during the Middle Ages by merchants or craftsmen. Individuals who had a common trade or business banded together into mutual aid societies or guilds. These guilds regulated production and employment, and they also provided a range of benefits to their members, including financial help in times of poverty or illness. Out of the tradition of the guilds emerged the friendly societies. These organizations began appearing in England in the 16th century. Again, organized around a common trade or business, the friendly societies would evolve into what we now call fraternal organizations. But what does this have to do with modern social insurance? Well, if we fast forward to the modern bustling age of the 17th century, we find some of the foundations of what would become our modern social security. The origins lay in the poor laws of medieval England, culminating in the Elizabethan Poor Law of 1601. This isn't a new law, but rather a codification of the previous laws from King Edward III in the 1300s up to the 1590s. Under this law, the impotent poor, those who were too old or too young to work, were sent to almshouses to be cared for, while the able-bodied poor were sent to workhouses where they would work to earn their keep. Now the vagrants, they were sent to prison. It was this idea of how to provide for the poor that the early colonists brought with them to the New World.